Good evening, guys. My name is Karan Chauhan, and I'm joined by my co-host Prashant Pasnuri. Today we have with us Shaun Booty Smasher Loyal and his coach Ashwin Hoon. Shaun is a Jiu-Jitsu practitioner fighting out of Warriors Cove, Gurgaon, and he has an Asian Open gold. He has an SJJIF Bangalore Open. He's got a double gold in the gi and no gi categories. He's got a bronze medal in the SJJIF Bangalore Absolute category. He's got a silver at ADCC India 2019 and a bronze at ADCC India 2020.
Second place.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. Second place.
Yes. So Ashwin is Shaun's coach, who's the head coach at Warriors Cove. He's a purple belt under Mike Morrell, and he is currently known as India's best grappler. He's got the title of India's best grappler. Ashwin, thank you for joining me. Shaun, thank you for joining us. Shaun, second place loyal now. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Shaun knows where he belongs, man. It's okay. He's a humble guy.
Yeah. I wanted to know how it was for you guys training during lockdown. I mean, how was all of this? How did you guys manage to keep getting the rounds in? How long were you guys closed for?
We had black masked the entire academy. It was Shaun, myself, Aman, and Metal. Yeah, Aman and Shaun stayed in the gym for I think just over a fortnight. I stayed there for a couple of nights. And we realized it was okay to travel back and forth, so I had to train, man, no matter what the risk is.
How was it living in the gym with Aman?
Oh man, it's quite risky. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
You know, sometimes you just wake up in the middle of the night and he's just there sitting right next to you, staring at you, and then you don't know what to do. So you just you start to just get up and walk around, and then that's about it.
No, dude. Shaun is such a. Why are you making Aman out to be a fucking pervert, bro? Huh? He's not a fucking pervert. You're the one who's a fucking perv. Shaun and Meryl started dating during the lockdown. You know that, right? So I think, So if Meryl didn't show up, Meryl wasn't in the picture, Shaun and Aman would be a thing right now. And
I was just going to say that, like.
Yeah, they were spending a lot of time together. I mean, it was getting very intimate. That's why I left to start with, because I didn't want to get into where the fuck they were growing there. And yeah, man, it was a strange time. It was a strange time, and strange times breed to different things, so you never know.
I'm glad to see that Shaun's found some love in his life, man.
Oh, that's a different story, bro. You want to hear something amazing?
Why would you say it like that, man?
So Meryl recently came to me in the gym, and she's like, dude, Ashwin, I won. I'm like, what do you mean you won? Like, dude, I won. So apparently Shaun blabbered in his, like, he woke up midnight and like, dude, Meryl, I love you. And I was telling, dude.
This is going to be on the internet forever.
I was telling Meryl, dude, listen, anytime he tells you, whenever it happens and he breaks and he fucking says, love you, just say, os. Shaun spends half his day saying os, and Meryl fucking totally forgot and said, I love you back. And
Oh
fucking
my God.
the rest of it.
I want to. How do I leave this podcast?
This is the highlight reel. Basically, this is the highlight reel of the podcast, gents. So
that's why his name is Second Place Loyal, because he's always a loser.
Oh man. Okay, so coming back to.
I can't believe the podcast are like this. I literally I don't know what to say.
Nobody knows what is it.
Yeah, but so we know what promo work we have to do to promote this podcast now.
Oh, it's easy work for me, man.
Second place could be the second.
Easy work.
Yeah.
What's the story with the second place, Shaun?
Oh, I just never win anything.
Oh.
So Shaun and I have this running joke.
Okay.
When I go up to Shaun, I'm like, Shaun, Shaun. I can't be beat. And I've been saying it to Shaun for about 11 months now.
Dude, it's just around that time. Like literally, I walk into the academy. He's like, I can't be beat. We finish training. I can't be beat. I go in for a shower. I come out of the shower. He's there. I can't be beat.
I get out of the shower faster than him, dude. Just let him know. Listen, motherfucker. I clean up faster than you. I can't fucking be beat.
Oh, good.
So that's what makes him second place loyal.
So you're saying you've never won any competition?
Against me.
Okay.
Against you?
Against me.
Okay.
He's won other competitions, all those fucking stupid like jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Yeah. The Tom, Dick and Harry ones. You're right. Yeah.
The horse shit.
I've beaten him at Call of Duty though.
No, he hasn't.
I just wanted to put that.
Of this. There's no record of this. You can't prove sensation.
So who began first? Ashwin, I think you began first in BJ Jiu-Jitsu.
2012 November is when Warriors Cove opened. I showed up end of the year, I think. We were the only gym in India that was open at the time. The only MMA/BJJ gym. And after us, Cross Train followed suit.
Right.
And after that, I've been hit in the head a lot, so my timeline's a little blurry.
I get you.
Excuse me if I don't know when the other ones opened. But a few opened after that, I know that.
Okay. Because you skipped the part where you began. How did you begin in Jiu-Jitsu? Like, did you just start Warriors Cove?
I walked into the gym.
Achha.
No. So the gym was run and it was initially started by Jahangir Raza and Rajiv Berry.
Okay.
I only became an owner in it about 4 years ago.
Achha. Okay.
50% owner. Before that, Raji was in charge. He left for New Zealand, and I bought over his share, his 50%, and me and Raza took it from there.
I'm saying, how does it feel running the most successful MMA and Jiu-Jitsu gym in the country? I mean, in terms of MMA, I know that you guys don't have many MMA fighters besides Mac. I mean, I think Mac and Rahul Thapa are the only two MMA fighters that are involved in the gym. But definitely the most successful Jiu-Jitsu system in the country, for sure. Like, I see Mac gold medals coming in from Warriors Cove.
I mean, I don't think we are the most successful. For me to sit here and say that we are the best or we are the most successful would be a dick move, honestly. But I think we are aspiring to be the most successful. And I think it's an ongoing process. It's not something that you can establish and just sit and rest on your laurels. In terms of MMA, we have a couple of guys who have switched camps to us recently. We have Sunny Khatri.
So how do you break it up? Like, how do you break up the sessions across the week? So when you're working, striking with somebody and you're working with something. I know predominantly you guys are a jiu-jitsu gym, but how often do you all work your striking and how often do you all work your grappling?
That's it. The fighter who comes to us for a camp. He ideally do a 6-week camp or an 8-week camp. They would attend all our grappling classes as usual, our pro classes, which is we have 2 classes in the day, which is 6:45 and noon. Other than that, they would have a striking session in the morning and a grappling session in the evening, specifically designed for them. Now, the grappling session could be cage work or offense, defense, or just MMA-oriented top-bottom situational stuff. Aside from that, about twice or thrice a week, they'd have sparring.
That's a lot of sparring.
Yeah, twice or thrice max. 3 times max. But it's not like balls to the wall sparring, you know. It's more technical, just to get the cardio on point.
Okay.
And more than their cardio, just their timing.
Having all these killers in your gym, how do you match people up? Like how do people in your gym find the right person to deal with, or just does everybody trust everybody in the gym?
If you try to fuck with anybody in the gym, you answer to me. So I mean, I run a very tight ship in that manner. I don't care about your opinion. When you're inside the gym, you listen to me or you fuck off. It's very simple and straightforward. I mean, if you start letting them think for themselves and they start deciding and making decisions in the gym, well, very soon you'll have anarchy, and then I've lost control of my academy. So I do run a tight ship, and rightly so, because as you would know, a lot of MMA fighters are very hard to deal with, and the massive egos most of the time. So you need to know them, let them know the second they walk in the door that, you listen, I'm in charge. This is how it's going to run. And you came to me, I didn't come to you. So you're going to have to, you should listen to me. Otherwise, you can just find another place. As simple as that. It's not like I'm going to hold you down and beat the shit out of you. I'm just going to ask you to fucking leave. It's as simple as that. We're professionals. Let's work that way.
Without naming any names, have you ever had to deal with people that have been arrogant and said, this is how I want to run things? He's coming to the gym and said, okay, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it that way. Or the high way. Have you had to deal with people like that before?
It hasn't happened with me.
Really? In all the years that you've been teaching it, it's not happened once?
No.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
That's
a really tight ship.
Yeah, of course, that's a very tight ship. He's a good captain, so to say. But then...
I try, man.
I say try. That's great. Because then you always have, whenever you have these people who are getting into martial arts, you always have this alpha male type people, who always come and try to... Because there's always going to be a dominance hierarchy in the world wherever you go, right? So how do you deal with that now? You just told us that you keep it very tight. But when you see that he's a very good prospect, he has very good talent, he can be very good at it, how do you deal with such people then?
What I say goes, that's it. When you're on your own time, you're an adult, you're responsible for your own decisions, do whatever the fuck you want. I am nobody to tell you what to do outside the gym. But when you're within the four walls that I'm paying rent for and working my ass off to make a success, I'm responsible for everything. So you should listen to me or whoever's in charge at that point in time. I make that very clear, that stage one. Just like my dad would tell me, dude, you live in my house, you do what I say.
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah. So Shaun, as an athlete, how frustrating was it for you? I mean, when this whole COVID thing first hit, now I can speak for myself, but I want to know what you felt, because you were somebody that was a gym rat, When Shaun and I were training over here, he would do a 10K run, he would go to the gym, and then he would come and then he would come and train with me.
That's an easy day, bro.
That's an easy day.
That's not a gym rat. Fucking Shaun. I'm way more of a gym rat than you are, Shaun. Fuck you. Shaun, you're a gym rat? You actually spend all day training there?
Yeah, so I would run, then I had football practice, and then I would go to the gym and then train jits.
Dude,
Am I giving away too
Shaun...
much right now, Shaun?
Sorry?
Am I giving away too much right now?
No.
No. Shaun has a very life now, dude. Shaun goes home for breakfast. He gets a fucking full English breakfast every morning. He takes a nap. He comes back during lunchtime. He pulls out an uki from somewhere like, yo, listen, come here. I need to drill on you. He has somebody drive him to the weightlifting gym. He fucking takes class whenever he feels like. Shaun's living a very good life right now. No gym rat. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. I don't know what to say. I mean, things are just different over here, right? Because, here it's just I can focus on Jiu-Jitsu completely, like 100%. But there, just not having access to the kind of training that we have over here is just different. So you work around
You
that.
should see some of the other guys, some of Shaun's competition right now. Rajas and gang, dude. So Rajas is 17. Rajas does not leave the fucking gym.
Man, Rajas is something else, dude. Like when I saw that he beat Shaun in leverage, I was so taken aback by that, and I was so shocked by that. But good on Rajas. He's got his head in the right place in terms of training. I dare say.
Yeah, Shaun, what happened there, bro?
But he's very hard on himself. Like Rajas is very hard on himself.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. How do you know that?
Yeah. I have to congratulate him, and emphasis on the title.
What did he say?
He said it's nothing to be proud of. I don't know how much he wants to talk about it. Yeah. I don't know how much he wants to be talking about it, so I don't know whether I should.
No,
but,
you must talk about him. Karan, don't worry. He won't say jack shit. You go ahead. Speak your mind.
No, so all he said to me was, no, there's nothing to be proud of. I didn't do well. There's nothing. He just kept reiterating. I just told him, you're young. You're 17. You beat somebody that was, that gives his heart and soul and his life to Jiu-Jitsu. And he beat Punyajit Likharu, who's also a very good and well-established grappler as well. Somebody who took out Mac at MFN. I was ecstatic. I was almost pulling my hair out when I saw Rajesh get his hand raised against Punijit. I saw him beat Shaun. I was slightly more disappointed, but yeah, but it, and the fact that he lost out. Who did he lose to in the tournament though?
Aman.
He lost to
Lost to
Aman.
the
I mean,
champ.
dude, Aman. Yeah, he lost to the champ. There's no putting it lightly. I know exactly how that feels. It's not a good feeling, also. You know, like there's a certain amount of animosity with your opponent that you lose to.
But
So
I'm sure there was
I saw
feelings.
I saw. Mhm.
I mean, he lost to the guy who won the whole thing, right? That's like a meme now.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I mean, it's good to see somebody at 17 with that sort of mentality. You know? Like he's a kid. Like, and I remember asking Shaun, I was like, how's Rajesh? Shaun just gave me a look and he said, dude, he will fuck you up. He will fuck you up. And I believe him now. You know, like I see
Yeah,
Rajesh
he's a
doing what he
little
does.
demon, dude. He's a fucking demon. And the thing is,
He's
uh, I've said this before. I train all these guys, and there's only one guy I see catching up to me. It's Rajesh.
also he's young and he's learning with all these killers in the gym. Like I mean, Aman, Shaun, who else? Mac. He's got you. He's got
Mac is not there anymore, bro. Mac used to come and train with us. But
really.
he's not been in the gym in half a year.
Oh shit! Why not? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't know, honestly. I've been trying to get him to come to the gym. I mean, I've messaged him a couple of times, saying come train. He's like, he tells me he will, but I haven't seen him.
Okay, I mean everybody goes down their own path.
Yeah,
Is he
man.
training somewhere else?
Good for him. I don't think so. But I hope he's like getting some training in and like getting some kind of peace of mind, whatever he's doing.
Mm-hmm. I hope he's doing well wherever he is, man. It's important to do that. You know? So like I asked Shaun, how is it for you when COVID first hit? What were the adjustments that you made when you had to train?
So there was like a very, very small period where we did like just where we didn't train, where we actually had to stay at home. So I mean that was tough, but you know it was what was needed to be done. But then you know that's when we shifted to the academy, and then we just a few of us were getting our training in, and we were living there. So if you honestly, I'll tell you, man, it wasn't that hard to deal with because that was just like a very tiny period of time we weren't training. Otherwise, we were always training. So I mean, there was no adjustment for the few of us that were constantly training. So I mean, that's
Yeah, we had it a lot better than a lot of you guys did. I mean, I don't know how long you were away from training, but how long were you away from training?
I never really got away from training because my training was not very different from what I'm currently doing right now. You know, I've made what I had to make work. I've made what I had to make work. So for the first few months, I was doing absolutely no jiu-jitsu, no grappling whatsoever, till about May, because that's when Amazon opened up again. So till May, I've not run in a long time, and I still didn't run. I was doing skipping in the morning. I was doing back work. At the time, LEW hadn't gotten in touch with me. So my brother owns a steel factory a little outside Pune. So I asked him to put 4 car tires together and make a boxing bag out of that. We put 2 PVC pipes as tires. I made a makeshift boxing bag out of that. So I was doing rounds in the boxing bag. I was doing skipping. I was doing a lot of shadow boxing, mobility work. Shaun, your mic is muted.
Shaun is a mute.
Shaun's a
Anika,
mute.
you mean?
Hanika, sorry, Hanika. Oh, Booty Smasher is not there anymore. Booty Smasher isn't there anymore. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Booty Smasher is not with us anymore.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So once Amazon opened up again, I begged my dad to let me get 12 mats, 12 of these little blue mats. They're these flimsy ass blue mats that I don't know what company makes them, but you know, Shaun and I use the same type of mats when we were training in his apartment. So I ordered 12 of those mats.
About these days, sorry, how
What?
like thin those mats were, and you know how actually dangerous. I mean, you know, you have to make do what you can, but you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of surprised we don't like we didn't break anything, or we didn't,
You mean you didn't break anything?
fair.
I was always banged up and injured after training with you, but I still came every day.
Did you train every day?
I would try to make excuses, but Shaun very rarely let me get away with it. He didn't let me get away with it.
Talking about the Danaher squad and the different schools of BJJ, which are I would say international schools of BJJ. What about Indians? Does the Indian subcontinent also have different schools of BJJ, different styles of learning or teaching? How far and how much do you know about this?
What answer do you want? Do you want the diplomatic answer or?
Oh,
We want the most honest. We want the most honest,
yeah.
brutally honest answer we want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a few academies which are not, which are a bit backward in the sense as they refuse to conform to the modern day style adapted by the winning academies, which would be the competition set academies. So if you're a competition academy, you have to have, instructors who are up to date with what's happening in the world.
Right. Right.
If you are a self-defense academy, well, you don't. So there are a lot of academies which call themselves competition academies, but they don't keep up with what's happening in the world today,
Right.
which is sad. But there are a fair few which are up to date, which work hard, and which in a few years' time will be up to the standard of any academy in the world.
And you're talking about the Indian subcontinent, right? You're talking within the country.
Absolutely, India.
Okay.
India, yeah.
So there needs to be, so these gyms need to come up with new ways of learning. They need to adapt.
At least for myself, how I do study and train is I myself am a competitor, and so I keep myself up to date because I was supposed to compete at the ADCC trials last December, and they've been postponed to this December. So I have to be on it. If I'm not on it, and I'm behind by a week, I'm going to lose. It's as simple as that. I can pretend and be delusional and say, dude, if I get really pissed off and I get amped up, I might fucking win this thing. It's not going to happen. Because technique always wins.
Right.
So you have to keep up to date with what's happening in the world.
And technique is evolving day by day.
Dude, it's a growing martial art. It's a fairly new martial art.
Right.
It's what, 28, 29 years old now. So it's still evolving. So competition-wise, the people are learning to beat you in different ways, month to month. So we can sit in denial and pretend like our old age tools, which is our daggers and fucking sharp sticks, will work. But those guys showing up and fucking jets to bomb us, so it's not going to work very well.
So just to ask you, sort of, is there a BJJ community in India? Like there is a BJJ community around the world in different parts of the world. Is there a particular community in India?
So Prashant, with Leverage Radio, that's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to build relationships with a lot of people in the world, in the country, but I'm also a brash cunt at times. I used to be more of a cunt, but I started becoming nicer, believe it or not. I'm only a cunt to my training partner, and that's just bants. Like, it's just banter amongst us all the time. But yeah, I am trying to get to know people, but a lot of people, because of me being a dick to them in the past, just refuse to talk to me.
Right.
But some of them have accepted my apologies, and we've moved on and become friends. By the way, that is sick.
Isn't it?
So
now we're talking, dude.
Yeah. So talking about the BJJ community in India, right? So now the people who want to evolve, they know how to evolve, right? I was going to ask you this question about what does somebody need to do in order to evolve in BJJ, in order to learn new. But people who know, they know. You don't need to tell them, right? What do you say, Shaun?
Oh shit, me?
Yes, you were listening.
Simple answer, Shaun. Come on.
Sorry.
So I
You
was
could
saying,
do,
so Ashwin made
yeah.
this comment. He was saying that most of these BJJ gyms in India, they need to evolve. They need to get modern. Most of them are stuck in their own thing. They want to do their own thing, but they are not as advanced. They're not learning new techniques, new things, or this and that. So I was going to ask Ashwin that what do you need to do in order to adapt to the game, in order to adapt to the advancements of the game. But then I said, people who know they need to advance, they know how to do it. People who know, they know. What's your comment on this?
Oh, like Man City to advance, you definitely need to be up to date on everything. And the thing about Ashwin is our coach is that he studies like literally everything that comes out, and that's what gives us competitors from Warriors Cove a huge edge. I feel over everybody because we're just up to date on everything, and even if you're like even a little bit behind on
Yeah.
like certain techniques that have that are now being used and being applied, and you're having a lot of success with them. If you don't study those techniques as well, you're definitely going to be left behind. And I feel like that
Yeah.
willingness, or that ability, or just that willingness to study new things and to advance your game is something that really
and
sets
that
us
should
apart.
and that should come naturally as a student of the game.
Learning, I feel so, yes.
That should become naturally as a teacher in the game.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
So adding on that point, I had a question. Now you guys have become notorious for. I mean, your fighters have become notorious for pulling off leg locks with tremendous ease in
Oh.
competition. I saw that
I
most
don't
of
know,
the
man.
wins that
I just
most of the
wrestle.
wins.
I don't know like lots.
You tore the guy's ankle apart in like how many seconds was it in your first fight?
No, dude,
At leverage.
I wrestle. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Ashwin, the question's for you then. I mean, how do you put together a system that's so successful with leg locks? I mean, all of your guys attempted mostly leg locks, in leverage from what I saw. Everybody was going for it, and they were more than successful with it. They were unbelievably successful with I don't know, the entries were sharp, their positioning was sharp, and I remember feeling dyslexic when Shaun used to drill with me and he was trying leg locks. I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Once I started studying Jiu-Jitsu properly, and that only happened when Shaun left. I used to study Jiu-Jitsu, and I started understanding these things to a certain extent. And I see your guys pulling it off with little to no effort. How do you put together a system like that? Do you go abroad to train? Do you study a lot of tape? And how much do you drill?
So Karan, I have this very valuable thing in my house. It's called the internet. So
I knew this
what
was
I
coming.
so what I do is I don't create any fucking system. I'm a fucking dumbass in a basement just teaching things people have already discovered. I study what they've taught, and I see the trends worldwide of how. Well, I'm just pulling off what happened in the West, in the East. That's literally what I'm doing. It's a tried and tested method. I'd be a fucking dumbass to not use it.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
What the Dana Death Squad has done in the West, they use leg locks to destroy, everyone. I am literally saying I'm using the exact same method to beat some of the people in this country. Like it's again the same analogy I gave you earlier. These guys are running at us with pointy sticks, and we have a pistol. Why not, right?
Right.
A lot of people make excuses saying, "Dude, listen, we were not prepared for this. We're not prepared." Like that's on you, homie.
Right.
Be ready. Why would you come to a gunfight with a knife? What the fuck you doing, homie? Like,
throwing knives around.
like, I don't know what's going on, but it's a very simple method, and I'm not hiding anything. You can come to my gym and you can fucking record my sessions. It's everything that has been done in the West, I'm copying.
Yeah. And
I'm
people who stay here can do this by themselves as well.
Absolutely.
Nothing stops you.
Nothing is stopping you.
Yeah.
Nothing stops you except the fucking doubt in your brain that says, yo, no, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to be the same. Just do it.
Now I'm asking you a question. Now I'm asking you something because I want to know this. Now, suppose if I, a nobody, right? No, someone who knows nothing about BJJ, I just know Jiu-Jitsu because I watch the UFC. Now, so suppose I want to start learning, and I'm staying in some remote part of the country, right? And if I want to train by myself, how do you suggest I go ahead? Have you done this in any way in your life? Do you know of people who have done this in their life? How do I go ahead? Training by myself.
Well, you download the Gracie Combatives, or you buy the Gracie Combatives. You make sure your self-defense is on point. You make sure you can protect yourself first. You find it, obviously you got to find a training partner. You drill the movements.
Okay.
Make your partner drill the movements. At some point in time, you both are going to get little good at defending or submitting each other. Right? And then you adapt and you get to more dynamic systems, systems that specify and then go into detail. So you go into the very niche systems like the arm lock system, you go into the back system. Again, the Danaher Zenta system is the best thing you can get.
Okay.
So you go to that. You go to pin escapes, you put the gi on. It's all on the internet.
Right.
And Mike is a black belt under Harris Gracie. Mike also uses the internet.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of, a lot of old school gyms don't adapt to the new school knowledge that's out there. So Mike has to do the same thing, and Mike and I shoot off. We just talk about what we're teaching at each other's gyms.
Ashwin, because when you're saying that you are just emulating the Danaher death squad, do you think that people in this country or gyms in this country are staying away from labeling themselves like you do, that I'm just copying the Danaher, I'm just copying the West in what I am doing, right? Do you think
maybe a lot of people are not as shameless as I am, Prashant? I'm honest and I'm shameless. Like, I'm not trying to hide anything. It's a simple method. If people are too proud to follow the method, it's on them. They're behind on the curve by about 2 years.
Because if you've got to advance the game, if you've got to learn and advance the game, you'd have to get advanced and you'd have to be shameless, sort of, right? That's the only way you do that.
One of the most important things as a martial artist is the ability to learn. The second you forget that is an essential tenet or part of your martial arts journey, well, you're doing a disservice to not only yourself, but the students you teach in the future.
Yeah, and ego as well. Humility and ego as well, right? Because that comes...
Ego is very good if it's used in the right manner.
Yeah.
If it's a tool, it's not in a competition spirit, and you know how to use it, it's very useful.
You have a champion like Gordon Ryan. You have a guy like Gordon Ryan, who's one of the most egoistic people I've ever heard of in my entire life. But he backs that ego up with.
He's not egoistic, Karan. He's honest. He's honest. He's not egoistic. He's honest.
Because it's just is that a gimmick? Do you think that's a gimmick, or do you think that's ego? Gordon King.
Well, he's undefeated in he's been undefeated for 3 years. He won double gold at ADCC with a broken hand. He is the king.
And I think that's his way of keeping things tight. I think
it's a bit of both. You gotta make money. You gotta make sure that little edge in your brain is going. Like I said, you gotta keep yourself going. And well, nothing he said he wouldn't. That he's going to do, he hasn't done. Like, he's done everything he said he'd do. So hats off.
And he's made a shitload of money, no doubt in that.
He's living in Puerto Rico, man. Training BJJ with Danaher. He managed to get Danaher out of New York to Puerto Rico. That's insane.
Oh, really? Okay. So now they train out of Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now this question goes to Shaun. Shaun, now you've seen a lot of you've developed as a BJJ player, right? Now, because I'm asking you questions because you're the most silent guy in this podcast, so I want some words out of you now, some bits out of you. So you've seen this game, you've seen people train this game. What difference have you seen in people before and after they've done BJJ? Apart from their game.
Well, I get and talk about their personality wise. And I feel like everything's on hang right now. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
We're
can
back,
hear
we're
you.
back, we're back, we're back. Yeah, we're back.
Okay. Oh, dude, like when people start now again, this is obviously is different from person to person. Everybody takes away different things from when they start to train BJJ. Like you have someone who comes in the academy one day, gets absolutely murked, and then just never shows up again.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And then we have like other people who they come in, they get murked, and then they still keep showing up. So with a lot of people, it develops this sort of persistence. And I'm not talking like about the advanced guys in our academy. I'm talking about like a lot of the beginners as well. They just a lot of them just keep showing up, and it just shows that like that discipline there, or that it exists in almost everybody. Everybody just needs to be willing to put in the time and the effort to just come every day.
Yeah.
That was one very important thing that was one very important thing that Shaun taught me. Like I said before, just the importance of showing up every day, and that's what I see now. Even when I'm training right now, if and it's that I see that thing in all of these guys at Warriors Cove, because I see Aman putting up a story, I see Rajesh putting up a story, I see Shaun putting up a story, and these guys are just there every fucking day. And you guys have some relentless hours of training. Like I remember Mike talking about the fact that way back in 2019 when Ashwin, did you get your purple belt in 2019 or 20?
20 last Feb.
Right. Sorry, at ADCC. So remember Mike talking about the absurd hours of training that you guys were doing. You guys would train for like 4 hours straight, and it's hard to do that every day. So to have that motivation to show up every day becomes very, very difficult.
I mean, the reason why we do this every day and we have to do it every day is, and this is coming from a very honest place, because these guys will get better than you. If they're in the gym one day and you are not in the gym that day,
Yeah.
they've picked up some knowledge you don't have. So you have to be there on a daily basis, or you do fall behind. And that's the fucking truth. If I miss a few days, if I miss a few days,
we still
I
get
get
wrecked.
no.
Absolutely, it doesn't.
I
just
feel
doesn't
like
matter.
shit because these guys have been there and they've got some hours on me, and it's all competition in my head, so I feel like trash.
Yeah, it's that FOMO. It's that insane amount of FOMO that you feel.
Yeah, bro, it's fuck. I am not going to be out trained by Shaun.
Shaun, second place, Loyal.
Bjd Loyal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
So
But a lot of the training hours I picked up were from Unity Jiu-Jitsu in New York. So I managed to get a couple of stints at that academy and watch the Meow brothers train, watch the whole gang train there. Those guys sleep in the gym, man. They don't leave.
And they do. They keep doing jiu-jitsu the whole day and whole night.
Yes.
Again, the question I just wanted to ask you again is, what difference do you see in Indians as BJJ as they learn BJJ, and when you were training BJJ outside in New York? What's the stark difference here? Of course, it's a stark difference because the time frame is different. We are running behind on time, so to say, because we picked up the game later than them. But then again, what are some other distinctions that you see?
I can speak for my academy. There's no distinction. We are a lot better than a lot of the bluebirds in the West. It's not like, especially Nogi. These guys will do very well against a lot of bluebirds outside. That's one. Otherwise, I don't think there's any real stark difference. Again, it's subjective to every academy on what curriculum, what syllabus, how up to date they are on the new happenings in the BJJ world. So you have to be well informed, and there shouldn't be much of a difference. These guys are very close to the level at which a lot of the gyms are functioning.
And you've got this tournament, right? The BJJ tournament that you've got. Can you tell us more about that tournament?
Oh, so the Leverage Fight Night, which is also, by the way, now the Leverage Pro Invitational. We're going to rebrand the whole thing.
Okay.
Leverage Pro Invitational has a better ring to it, I think.
Tell me a little bit about how before you start talking about it, tell me how what your mindset was to approach still having the tournament on during COVID. I mean, because there were a lot of tournaments that weren't that were not getting sanctioning, let alone a jiu-jitsu tournament. A lot of boxing fights were not getting sanctioned. So what were some of the things that you had to overcome in order to let this thing happen? And then getting sponsors and inviting athletes and asking people to come out and put on a show for you. What struggles did you go through?
Well, if I start listing out all the struggles, we'll be here for a bit. But the tournament was rescheduled about 4 times to start with. It was planned for a year before it took place. So it took a long time for it to actually accrue into what you guys saw. In terms of sponsors and athletes, well, people were broke. Athletes were broke. People didn't have a platform. So we begged and pleaded, put our own money in, and did our best to get that money in. And once the money came in, well, then it wasn't very hard getting the athletes in. People want to compete, right? They've been sitting idle for over a year. And we're giving them a great platform. We're not charging them an entrance fee. The only thing we actually made them pay for is their flight tickets and COVID test. Everything else we did take care of for the 2 days they were here. Except stay, of course. We didn't pay for the stay, but hopefully we get on leverage 10, we will take care of that. But yeah, man, I have had a terrible experience being a BJJ athlete in this country, and I want the next generation to have a better time and something to look forward to. So that was the main reason for setting this up.
Yeah.
Tell us about the inception of Leverage. I mean, how did it come to fruition? I know
So
that
Leverage
the first
used to be
Leverage
an in-house tournament. Yeah.
it came to fruition in around 2014, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. How the fuck do you know that?
I do my homework.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
No, I do my homework,
2014,
but yeah.
we had one every year in-house. It's the only one where we decided, hey, you know what, let's fucking take it to the next level. Let's make this thing big. And we fucking ran with it.
So, what's the evolution of the athletes that you've seen throughout the years? I mean, I've seen guys from back in the day like Zorawar, Sohail. From when one sec, from when Nazar used to give his speeches at tournaments. I'd see all the fighters getting hyped up, and it was awesome to see this underground-ish thing take place in your gym, where just the best people from in and around Delhi and Gurgaon would come. But now you've managed to get fighters from all around the country to come and take part. So how proud are you to see that? And for you to be a part of that evolution of the sport, how proud are you?
I try not to sit and rest on my life, but I am pretty happy that things have worked out. But more importantly, it's more important for me to just make sure that I don't stop now and this keeps going. Like the next tournament, it's on the 17th of April, and it's going to be bigger and better, which our sponsors' money is going to be way higher. In fact, yesterday when I was speaking to you, we just closed Fluvium.
Oh wow, Fluvium, that's awesome.
Yeah, for the next, you heard it here first, for the next tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're working on closing that completely. We're just getting the paperwork sorted, and yeah, Fluvium is going to be on board for Leverage 10. That's one of the partners we are closing on right now.
How are they going to be helping you guys out if you don't mind disclosing any of those details?
Well, they're coming on board as a sponsor. They are providing us with mats.
Crazy.
And they will be kitting out a lot of the athletes. So, I mean, why the fuck not, right? They have good quality stuff.
They have excellent quality stuff. How hard is it for you to stay objective now? When you're a promoter, but you also guys have fighting out of your gym. This whole thing got incepted with Warriors Cove. So Warriors Cove is sort of putting its own credibility on the line every single time your guys compete. That happens to any tournament, but especially when it's an in-house tournament or when it's a tournament that is set up by the owners of Warriors Cove. How hard is it for you to stay objective and hope for the best for your guys, but also throw them out there to the sharks to take on the best in the country?
So, Karan, that's a very good question, actually. I am nothing but objective on the day of the tournament. I honestly do not care if my athletes win or lose. If they win, it's worse for me actually, because then they have to worry about them getting lazy and not training as hard. If they lose, it's a kick in their ass and they're going to work harder. So for me, on the day of the event, there's no control that I can hold on to, right? What the hard work is done. These guys, all they have to do is go out there and compete. Even when I corner very unemotionally right now. Back in the day, I used to be very different. I used to be all emotional and riled up and upset. But it's not going to lead to anything. So I am very objective on the day of the event. Running the event probably gets me more rattled than watching my guys compete. I do not worry about them winning or losing. It's not a concern for me. It's just they're not going to get seriously injured because they're not getting hit in the face.
Right.
So there's nothing to worry about, man. What's going to happen? They're going to pop a heel. They're going to hurt their knee. That's about it. They'll get back on it instantly. No biggie.
And that's it's very commendable that you're so objective about it, because I know a lot of people that get very, very emotional with the athletes, and it's very hard not to. I recently started taking personal training, and it's not it's not setting an expectation that you have from the athlete, but setting the athlete's own expectation. Right?
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the word expectation. I have zero expectations. All I have and I hope is that they execute the techniques they learned. No, honestly, because expectations literally only lead to disappointment. All I'm hoping for is that they execute the techniques we've learned. If they get caught, they get caught. What's the big deal? But this again is something that I've learned with time, Karan. It's not something that I just fucking was born with. Like I said, you have to learn the hard way. You have to go through the hard nights where shit hits the fan and you just like, oh my God, everybody on our team lost. So what, man? Get back to the gym. You train. You win. You train. You lose. You train. It should not make a difference to your life.
Prashant, and anybody else that listens to this in the future, it's a perfect correlation of the sport of Jiu-Jitsu and the mentality in the sport. Like Ashwin just said, if you lose, you get back in gym and train. While you're training, you get tapped, you start again. You slap and bump fists, and you start again. You keep going until you perfect it. So that's the kind of mentality that sort of you literally drill into yourself, you literally drill into your brain, and that transfers into every other thing in life. So Jiu-Jitsu in a lot of ways has made my life a lot better, and it's made me go after a lot of things that I wanted in my life, and a lot of things that are coming to fruition for me. And a lot of that I credit to Shaun, because he helped literally drill this into my head. That happened because of you, because you were such a good coach to him, and that happened because of Warriors Cove. So the rest of my life, I know that I'm indebted to you guys, and I know that I will rep you guys till I stop fighting, and even after I stop fighting. So
cool, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you picked up on something, dude. Good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was honestly in every mind to quit, when this whole thing first started. But because I thought Jiu-Jitsu was too hard, and in 2018 I was considering stopping the fight because it was just getting too hard and it was hurting everybody else around me. But you just have to like people around you, and that's something that again Jiu-Jitsu taught me, because the moment I went on the floor, I would just give up because I was striker. But you learn to stay calm. And that's and honestly, that helps you in every type of situation in life, whether it's business, whether it's college, whether it's fighting, or whether it's just sometimes arguing with your spouse, arguing with your parents in any facet of life. So Jiu-Jitsu translates into a lot of facets of life, and it's.
Karan, I mean, there's a lot of things in my life I do stress, a lot of things. That I stress about, but Jiu-Jitsu is not one of them. That's the only thing I don't worry about. It's always been there. It's always going to be there. Quit everything else, but Jiu-Jitsu for life.
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu for life.
Jiu-Jitsu for life. So just want to ask you guys a final question, Shaun and Ashwin as well. What advice would you give to any student of martial arts in any form of martial arts as they advance through the rank? What one piece of advice?
Go ahead, Sean.
Advice.
Go ahead, Sean.
Sean.
Oh shit! My advice to budding athletes in any martial art, man. Research and find a great coach, because that just paves the way. If you want to take martial arts to the next level, if you want to make that career, it just gives you it. You have someone who you can mimic, and you can. It gets easier that way. So just finding a great coach is probably one of the most important things you can do if you're a budding athlete and a martial artist.
My answer to the question?
Yeah.
इतना सोचने का नहीं है, जिस जिम जाने का है, घर जाने का है, जिम फिर से आना है बस.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was from Ashwin Hoon and Shaun. We'll get that money next time, Loyal.
Next time, Son Loyal.
What's
Next time,
up?
Son Loyal.
Yeah.
It's better.
So Sean's
Yeah,
got
there
all
is a
this.
problem. It's okay.
Sean's got all these nicknames. Sean Big D Loyal, Sean Second Place Loyal, and all these.
That's the most.
Sean overcompensator loyal.
That was my major contribution to this podcast. It's my nades.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, that was Ashwin Hoon and Shaun Loyal with us on this episode of the Combat Exchange. Signing off with Karan Chauhan and Prashant Pasunuri. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks for having us, Ashwin. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
See you soon.
Thank you.